Hello, everybody. Welcome back to X-Plane 11. Once again, check out Colorado 1. That's what we're flying today. Southwest Airlines Flight 820 up to Portland, Oregon is where we're going from LAX. So we're here in Los Angeles right now, getting ready to get underway. I've got everybody on board pretty much. We'll be moving the jetway away very soon. We have the pushback already planned. It'll be coming up to the airplane. And we can turn off this GPU, and we're on AP right now. Ready for pushback? Let's do it. All right, tow is driving up right there, as you can see. Let's go ahead and get the jetway away. All we have to do is just release the parking brake and pull it again, and they will move that to the side. Let's go ahead and turn our fuel pumps on. Double check and make sure everything else looks good here. We've got electrics off there. Probes are off. Window heat is good. We've got dual bleed. That's set to auto. Trim air is good. Packs are on right now. All we have to do now is turn on the beacon light, and they are connecting down there. We're going to do 21,000 feet on departure, and we've already got our heading selected right there in case we need it. And you can see the flight plan today. We're doing the I believe it's called the J4 departure. And let's put it into plan mode here so I can show you what we're doing and step through it. Okay. You got it. Thank you. Some coffee would be nice before we get it going. Okay. Step through it. We got Malibu there. There's the Lady J. Yeah, we're doing the Lady J4. And then Rugby, Roz, Hey Joe, Castro, all the way on up to Lima Mike Tango. And then we do the transition for the SID, which is Moxie Portal, the Timbers 2 arrival into Portland. And we will have vectors to the ILS 10 right approach into there. If we go miss, we'll climb to 5,000 feet and hold at mules. That is what we are doing today. Let's go ahead and put this to map mode. Zoom out a little bit here. No, I'll keep it on 20. I'm happy with that. All right, they're ready to go. So we'll pull that parking brake,
starting pushback,
and they're pushing us back. Sounds great. We're ready to start engines on the way back.
If you do not meet the selection criteria on that card, that is on flight so we can repeat you at this time. If you have a cell phone, please make sure they're turned off for the flight. All other electronics should be turned off instead for takeoff and landing.
All right, we're clear on engine 2. Let's go ahead and turn those packs to the off position. Like that. It's going to get nice and quiet. And we're looking good there. Let's go ahead and start engine number 2 first. Look down here. We got N2 waiting for that 25%. We'll add that fuel. And hear the engine starting to come to life. I love the sound set in the Zebo package and the Ultimate 737s as well, because it's Audiobird that does it, and they do a fantastic job of capturing what it's like to be on one of these airplanes if you've never been. There's 25. Add that fuel. Looking good. Very short taxi today. We're just going over here to 24 left for our departure, so that won't take long at all. I already did all this stuff before. We're ready for the before taxi checklist is what it will be. To double check everything, make sure auto brakes are set to RTO. And they're still giving spiels back there. That's a good start right there. The start valve is closed. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1. Don't want to waste too much time today since it's a short taxi on out. And it is coming to life right there.
Complete. Set parking brake.
All right, parking brake is set. They're clear to disconnect the tow bar.
Stand by.
Waiting for 25 on this side. Man, I love the look of the Colorado 1. It's such a cool airplane. All right, let's go ahead and turn Lex on. Probes, flows.
We'll see you next time, and
Gens.
have a great flight.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you next time. That goes off. That goes off. APU goes off. And it should be good. Let's go ahead and do our checklist. Generators 1 and 2 are on. Probe heat is on. Wing anti-ice is needed. Pack switches are on auto. Isolation valve is auto. AP bleed is off. Engine start switches go to continuous. There we go, just like that. Engine start levers are on idle. Ground equipment is clear. Let's set our flaps for 5 for takeoff. 1, 2, 3. They're in transit. Flight controls, we'll check those bad boys. Got left. Good there, right. Good there. We got forward. We got back. We got right rudder. And we got left rudder. Flight controls are free and correct. And we'll make sure that lowered to use blank. Okay, fantastic. That is good to go. Next will be our takeoff ones. Let's go ahead and taxi over to 24 left today. All right, just over here at 24 left, let's go ahead and turn our landing lights on. We're going to let them know we're ready for departure. And those come on. Wing lights, good. All that's good. Strobes are going to come on next. You hear them telling everybody they were ready for departure? All right, sounds good to me. Take off before entering runway. Departure runway is correct. 24 left. Strobe lights are good. Other lights are good. Transponder needs to be TARA. Let's go ahead and do that. That is over here. Whoop. There we go. Now we have our traffic, which it's in blue. And we're good to go. All right, sweet. We'll line up 40%. We'll get on out of here. Let's double check the flight line. That would probably be for the best. Since we do have live traffic going on here, let's see if it's clear. And looks like it. We got one airplane on final. We'll wait for him. Oh, he's landing on the other runway. We'll be good. Let's go ahead and line up on 24 left. Because they land on 24 right. So it'll be fine. Yeah, we're good. I love the sound set in this airplane. All right, bring them up to 40%. There's 40 and toga. What the hell happened there? Why is toga not working? There we go. We'll do it again. We'll just do N1, I guess. I don't know what happened there. Strange.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. I don't know what happened with the speed on that one. That was strange. Acted very weird in our VNAV, and only I've got shut off too. Oh, there it goes. It's on again. That's good. 400 feet. Let's get up on that magenta line. Like I said, this thing climbs like crazy on the way out of here, and you can definitely tell. We'll turn to the right here. Bring that nose down. There's our decel. And we're out of LA. All right, 2,900 feet. We do have the autopilot on. We're going to go ahead and bring in the retracts. Runway turnoffs can come off. Taxi light can come off as well. We're monitoring our systems. That can go to the off position. This can go to the off position. 3,500. And 250 knots looking good. And all right, sweet. They'll check everything here. VNAV mode is set. Autopilot's good. Oh man, we're climbing right over this little cloud layer here. That is awesome. Okay. All right. And start switches go back to normal. And auto brake is off, landing gears off. And after takeoff checklist is complete. We got a Korean A380 in front of us. Look at that. That is awesome. We're doing the Lady J, so we do have a altitude restriction of 8,000 feet right there. He's going to cross right in front of us. All right, we had an 8,000 foot restriction at Lady J. Now we're climbing upwards towards 14,000 feet to Rugby. We're going to be at 10,000 feet here in a minute, so we'll bring those lane lights in, and we're going to ding them, let them know, hey, we're good to go here. And they can start their drink services. Man, Cool clouds climbing out of LA today. Very neat. It looks like it's going to be nice and clear on this side. So with active sky, I learned a few things, folks. You do have to put in the flight plan a departure and arrival and all that information so you have realistic weather along the route. I did change some settings. It should no longer change the weather when we get to our destination, number one. Number two, it's set to 20 minutes for updates on the interval so we don't have constantly changing weather on us, which is really nice. So let's zoom out a little bit and have a look. We're making that left-hand turn now over Rugby. Well, we're about to, and we'll be on our way up to Portland. And we're coming up on 18,000 feet now, so we're crossing it. We got a standard pressure that is on both sides, so that's good to go. Standard altimeter cross check verified, and we're good to go. Over the mountains, little milky out today as far as visibility goes. It might clear up as we go up north. We are supposed to have a headwind along the route, so we'll have to see if it keeps us slowed down. Should be 2 hours and 5 minutes en route today. $29,000 feet. Center pumps are off. We've used all of the fuel we needed in there. Double checked everything up on top. We're gonna look at our landing altitude. That's gonna be an elevation of just 31 feet in Portland, so that's not too bad at all. Just 31 feet. We'll just keep it at 50. That looks good to me. And we've been monitoring our pressurization and everything else, and yeah, still milky outside. Nothing too crazy. I do want to share with you guys my settings again with X Ambience. If you're wondering how I get my visuals, I'm using X Ambience. I'm liking it so far. So I've saved this preset out, but if you want to pause the video here and look at my settings right here, you can have a similar experience and you'll be good to go. How about that? We are just about to our top of climb to 40,000 feet. And I've got to say, by using Active Sky and plugging in our flight plan, the weather has been phenomenal. It has been very nice along the way. It's been believable, and it hasn't done any weird stuff to us so far. And I'm really, really happy with that. By the way, I am on the latest version of Active Sky XP. I am on the open beta, as they call it. So I'm not on a release client, I'm on a beta, which is supposed to fix turbulence and the turbulence sigmets and stuff like that. So that should be taken care of. It's supposed to be nice and smooth. I think once we get closer to Portland, I saw on the turbulence chart, we might encounter a little bit when we get near the mountains, but that's really about it. There's 40,000 feet right there. Let's go ahead and do our thing. Turn off this, pass the seatbelt sign, and hit the attend button.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached our cruising altitude. Slides are smooth, so I'll turn the seatbelt sign on. I would like to ask you to do better, so please keep the seatbelt fast while needed, just in case we get find an unexpected bump. Also, please don't compromise the rest of the forward galley lavatory area. We really appreciate you choosing to fly with Southwest this morning. Hope you enjoy the trip. Have a great week. Please come back and see us again real soon. Bye-bye.
All right, we're about 90 nautical miles from our top of descent. Let's get the airplane configured for our arrival. We're going to go to the init page and do it that way. It's going to be flaps 30, 140 knots. Double click that guy. There we go. +5. So we'll be VREF of 145 on our arrival. That's going to be 110.5 and 104. So 110.5 and 104. There we go. 104 on the course. And we might be able to pick up the ATIS, but I really doubt it. You can set your comms to 122 with active sky. We'll see if it populates anything here. Okay, well, take it from me that it works. It's just extremely loud and it blows your eardrums out, so don't do that to yourself. Auto brakes are going to be 2 today. There we go. That looks good to me. We'll throw the speed brakes out whenever we're ready for that. We're going to start our way down about 20 nautical miles from top of descent. That way the airplane can take its time getting down. We do have some altitude restrictions on our arrival. As you can see here, we've got 11,000 at or above, at or above, at or above, 7,000 at or above, all the way down to micro, we're at 5,000. The reason for those is because of the mountainous terrain. So that's going to play a factor in all of this. Well, before we get to our top of descent, I did want to go over something I saw that was left in the last video, and that was wondering why the airspeed here is so low. We have 233 knots, and I think last time it was like around 250 knots. The reason for that is because, look here, we have a 51 knot headwind here hitting the pitot tubes. So we're only doing 233 indicated airspeed. Across the ground, we're still doing 407 knots. So we're still moving it. Don't worry about that. The indicated airspeed is not what you go off of when you're at cruise. And not to mention that we are right here at Mach 0.774. So that's the reason why we have a low airspeed while we're at cruise like that. Almost the top of descent. Remember, 20 miles out, so we're going to start our way down. We've got 3 nautical miles until we do that. Let's have a look and see what we have on our page here. We've got pub at 4118, and then we get our vectors at 4118. So we're going to descend to, down to 4,000 is what we're going to actually put the MCP set to. So once we get to 4,000, it should be 20 nautical miles, and we'll start our descent. So let me click it. Makes it go a lot faster. There we go. And that looks good right there. Coming up on 20. There's 19, so that works. Go to descent page, and we hit descend now. Execute that, and the airplane will begin its descent into Portland ever so slightly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have started our descent. I have turned the seatbelt sign back on. I'd like to ask you to please return to your seats. Buckle up for the short duration of the flight. We really appreciate you choosing to fly with Southwest this morning. Hope you enjoy the trip. Have a great week, and please come back and see us again real soon. God bless.
All right, speed brakes are out, and it's helping the airplane slow down. We got some clouds here in the area. Beautiful, beautiful views. We're going to be making a right turn over Moxie and continuing down towards this way. And there's all those altitude restrictions I was talking about earlier. We did turn the fastest seatbelt sign back on earlier, by the way. I didn't forget that. That's just something I did right after we did the announcement. All right, as we make our way to Portal intersection here, we'll do our descent procedure. Pressurization, landing altitude's been verified. We already set that up there. It is set for 50 feet. System annunciator, we'll hit the recall. That's good to go. Approach ref page, we put the VREF in. It's gonna be 145. Radio barrel minimums is needed. We could just set it to 200 if we'd like. It takes a little bit to do, but we can just go just like that. We'll just set it to 200 so we have minimums. There we go. Those are good. Navigation, radio, set, verified. Those are good. We have 110.5 in both. That is confirmed. Yes. And we got 104 on both sides for the course. And auto brake 2 today. It's going to be as needed. Descent procedure is good. Next will be approach. Really, really liking the cloud textures here. This looks great. Like I'm pretty impressed with X Ambient so far. This is pretty nice. All right, we're through 18,000 feet. We'll go to we'll take it off of standard pressure, and we're going to be 3006. So that'll be 3006, and that's on both sides. That looks good. One thing I'm having with the X Ambient so far that I'm trying to get rid of is the flickering clouds. So if any of you guys know how to fix flickering clouds in X-Plane, let me know in the comments below. I'll just keep on looking myself. I know it's a problem within X-Plane itself, so I don't think it's particularly X Ambience's issue, but I will look into it, that's for certain. We're almost to a decel here before we get to Vance, and Vance is going to be at right here. It says 15,000 feet or below, or sorry, 11,000 at or above. So below 15,000. So that's what we need to do. And I think we're going to be just fine on that. This is 11,000 at or above, and we're going to be well above that. But we're staying right here on RMP's looking good. Cannot complain about that at all. We'll have a little bit of clouds getting into Portland, but right now I'll tell you a little bit about the weather that's going on in Portland. We've got winds at 340 at 5. We've got, we might be changing up runways actually. I'm not really sure. We might be taking 28 instead if winds are 340. We might have to modify that. Let's see what we do here. So, yeah, I think we're going to do 28 right approach instead. So let's go over here to our departures arrival page. Arrival is going to be Portland. And we're going to change up the ILS 28 right. There we go. And we don't need anything else other than that. Go to the legs page. Let's see what we got here. We've got micro. There's the vectors there. So that should change it up a little bit. Let's zoom out and see what that says. Doesn't really say much, does it? Not really. It didn't clear the old ones. That's why. Okay, I see. Vector, OMZ, Tolic. Okay, 28. So let's have a look and see what exactly that is showing. Looks like it's going to be over there is what we want. So 2,900. Going to be here, OMZ. So it's going to be OMZ. We'll go Vance. We'll go to Flower. Actually, instead of doing that, let's go out to OMZ after Vance. So what we'll do is we'll go OMZ here, go back where Vance is, and we're going to get rid of Flower and all of them. Hit execute on that. That's going to change the RMP quite a bit, which is fine, but the airplane should be making a right turn once we get off of Vance here. And now we're going to be landing on ILS 28 right instead. So just something, you know, thrown in the mix to change things up. And the winds are looking good there. Visibility is greater than 10 statute miles of visibility. Clouds few at 3,000 feet. And we already have our altimeter set. There's the turn over Vance. And we're heading in this way now. Keeping as much speed as we can towards it. I mean, look at that. Descent rate's pretty insane right now. But we have those speed brakes out. And we're getting into Portland. No problem here. All right, through 10,000 feet, lane lights are going to come on. I'm going to keep the we'll keep the retracts off for now, and we turn that wing light on as well. We'll ding them, let them know that we made it through 10,000 feet. Okay, that's good. Don't need that. 10,000 fixed. Landing lights are on. Passenger sign is needed. Transition level, we already did all of that. RMP's all good to go on that. We're looking fantastic here. We're going to go to the landing ILS mode, or landing ILS checklist. And we're going to actually give ourselves some vectors here shortly. So we're going to keep an eye on this, and we're going to vector ourselves because it's going to be pretty much a 90-degree turn to the runway. And we don't need to do that. We can kind of go out a little further. All right, go to heading select mode here, and we're going to start getting ourselves ready for our arrival. We're going to send down to 4,000 feet as we originally decided we were going to do. It's going to be 2,900 right there. So let's go ahead and descend to 2,900 so the airplane doesn't go beyond that. It should be good still on VNAV, so that should be okay for right now. And we're just going to manually get ourselves set up here for the ILS approach. We're 7,500 feet right now. Airplane's still, it's starting to add a little bit of power, isn't it? No, it's taking it back out. Okay, because I know for a fact that when I brought my speed brake out, it just was like, hey, no, we need drag, so don't worry about that. So I'm not going to worry about that myself. It's a little gloomy here in the cockpit today. Let's go ahead and turn these panel lights up a little bit so we can see. We'll do the same thing up here. Just a little bit there, and then over here on the right, we'll bring these up. Be about right there. That looks much better. All right, zoom in a little bit here. We still got a little ways to go. So we're at 2,900 feet. But we're looking A-okay here. That RMP is looking fantastic. FMC speed. Okay, it's going to add that in there. Let's go ahead and remove those speed brakes. It's going to try to get back up to 250 knots, and it's doing fine right now. That's for certain. Let's get ourselves in a nice position here. A knife's position? Nice position. Okay. This is going to be good. And then we'll have a nice angle here getting to the localizer. What we can actually do here is we can arm the approach. If memory serves correct, there's an airport right out here in front of us. Somewhere. But there is one somewhere, I can tell you that. There's Pollock and all that. Okay, looking good here. Just keep an eye on these mountains. The terrain is not working on this airplane. It works in the Zebo, but it's not working on the Ultimate 737-700 for whatever reason. And that's okay. That airplane's slowing down quite a bit here. OMSI's 240 knots, it says, and then it'll be down to 152 to Tolek, so it's going to be a big decel once we get closer. But we can actually go ahead and manually select our speed here. We're going to slow down to 210 knots, and we're actually going to try to intercept at 180, so it's not too terribly fast. Okay, looks like it's picking up the glide slope and the VOR localizer. All right, we're well below those speeds. We can put our array tracks out. We're going to let them know we're landing. There we go. Just told them. All right, ILS landing. We got it armed, verified. Glide slope alive. Gear's going to come down. We're going to go flaps 15 here in a minute. We've got the glide slope, but we're going to wait until we grab the airplane starts turning before we drop the gear. You see the airport's over there. That's it right over there. Yeah, this should be all right. We'll see how she does here. Maintaining the glide slope quite well. All right, flaps 5. Remember, we're going to be 145 for VREF here. So, waiting for the gear to come down here in a minute. Like I said, I'm going to wait till we grab the localizer for it and the airplane starts turning. I thought we were going to have to shoot a little bit more of an ILS, but that cloud layer over there is just hanging over there, not over the airport at all. That's cool. And since we properly set up active sky, it's not going to change the weather on us, which is great. We won't get any surprises here, and that's always a welcome thing.
2,500.
All right, 2,500. Here comes the localizer. Should be grabbing it any second here. I'm going to slow down at 150. There it is right there. Gear down. Flaps 15. Arm the speed brake. That is good. And 145 is our VREF. Flaps 30. And taxi lights. Those guys come on. Let them know we're landing. Flaps 25. That's interesting. It's like lined up on 28 left, isn't it? That's 28 right over there. Okay, that's... I mean, we'll take 28 left. That's wrong. Okay. We can sidestep if we want. I think we're going to do that instead. Let's go flaps 30. And what we'll do now is we'll bring our auto throttles back here. Got the airplane. Come on, grab that. All right. I'm going to go overhead and sidestep to the 28 right. I don't know why it lined us up on 28 left. That's strange behavior, if you ask me. And we're just going to do a visual approach for 28 right here. I'm fine with that. It cleared up really good once we got down that out of that haze layer. There's only so much you can do with the haze layers, you know, in flight sims, so not going to complain there.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Bird jump set.
Through flaps 30, landing gears down, 3 green. Slightly high on this approach because we changed it all up. That's all right. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm going to actually just keep the airplane flat here and let it slowly come on down. Reduce that power.
Light slow.
And that sound you're hearing there, the whoosh sound, don't mind that. That's for the other runway. That is the trim wheel you're hearing spinning around like that. There's our glide slope on the Pappy on the right there. This is 5-knot crosswind, nothing too crazy. Slow power a little bit more.
300.
Oh, that's annoying, that glide slope nonsense. But I don't know what happened here at this airport, man. They got them all wrong, don't they?
100.
Over the piano keys, we'll throw that crab out here with the left rudder.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Bringing Colorado 1 into Portland with style today.
80 knots.
Be good there. We'll just keep on rolling down. It's 60. We'll clear them. All right. Auto brakes go to off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Portland. That was about as smooth as she gets. Now remember, they said 2 hours and 5 minutes total time. We're at 2 hours right now on the dot. All right, bring those speed brakes forward. You hear that vzz sound. Bring up our flaps. As we vacate the runway here, we will change over to the APU in a minute. We're going to start that APU. 1, 2, 3. Let the door open and all that. All right, strobes come off. Lane lights can come up. I hate when I do that. Click, click. There we go. Off, off. Taxi's good. Straight ahead to the ramp. How about that? That was awesome. right, APU light looks good. We'll turn that on. APU bleed will come on. So we will have that. We've got our marshaller in sight right out front. Yeah, we know we have dual bleed on. Let's go ahead and turn the taxi light off and taxi into the gate at Charlie 18. All right, we are at the gate. Let's go ahead and pull the parking brake. That looks good to me. We are on that APU power. We can kill the engines. Left side, right side comes off. And we can turn the beacon light off and seatbelt sign off. And now they can get off the airplane. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of X-Plane 11. Really enjoyed flying Colorado 1 today. Fun flight up here to Portland. I'm working on Ortho XP so we can fly some new places. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.